I'm Teacher Neth, and welcome back to Statistics and Probability class. In this lesson, we will know all about test-statistic. A test-statistic is a random variable being computed from sample data and is used in testing hypotheses. It is a means in determining whether to reject or accept a null hypothesis. Test-statistic compares your data with what one expects as is stated by the null hypothesis. In identifying appropriate test statistic, you have to consider if the population variance or population standard deviation is known or unknown. That is, if the population variance is known, and when the distribution is either normal or the sample size is large, such as 30 and above, we have to use ZTest. A z-score is compared involving population parameters, population mean, and population standard deviation. ZTest validates a hypothesis stating that the sample belongs to the same population. Nevertheless, if the population variance is unknown, and if a sample size is less than 30, we have to use TTest. It is since the mean has a t-distribution in this case, and sample standard deviation is used instead of the population standard deviation. In one of the previous lessons, we have learned that Central Limit Theorem states that if the population is normally distributed, or if the sample size is large, and the true population mean, mu, is equal to the hypothesized value of the population mean, that is mu sub 0, then Z has a standard normal distribution. In this case, when population standard deviation, sigma, is unknown, z-score may still be used by replacing sigma with small s or sample standard deviation. So let us have examples. Example 1. A plant-based restaurant owner claims that the mean waiting time for food at their restaurant is 15 minutes. It is known that the standard deviation of waiting time in serving plant-based food is 4 minutes. A customer wished to test the owner's claim and observed 35 restaurant customers' waiting time. It was found out that the mean is 17 minutes. What is the appropriate test statistic for this case? Since sample size n, 35 customers, is greater than 30, and since population standard deviation, sigma, 4 minutes, is known, making population variance possible to be solved as well, then the appropriate test statistic to be used is ZTest. Example 2. A math teacher wanted to test whether the average problem-solving speed of students is 3 minutes per word problem. A sample of 10 students revealed a sample mean of 7 minutes per word problem with a standard deviation of 1 minute per word problem. At 0.10 significance level, is their mean problem-solving speed different from 3 minutes per word problem? What appropriate test statistic for this case? What is the appropriate test statistic for this case? For the solution, since sample size n, 10 students, is less than 30, and since sample standard deviation, 1 minute per word problem, is what is known and not the population standard deviation, then the appropriate test statistic for this case is t-test. Example 3. A survey was conducted on the average time students spend daily A survey was conducted on the average time that students spend daily in helping household chores. A researcher claimed that on the average, students help in household chores in less than 10 minutes daily. 120 students were selected randomly, and it was found out that their average time is 12 minutes with standard deviation of 0.5 minute. What appropriate test statistic for this case? Was the appropriate test statistic for this case? Now, since sample size n, 120 students, is large, although variance is unknown, Still, Z-test is the appropriate test statistic. Example 4. A sample of n equals 47 is selected from a normal population with sample mean 52 and sigma or population standard deviation 16. What is the appropriate test statistic to use? Since n, the sample size, which is 47, is greater than 30 and the population standard deviation is given, which is 16, then Z-test is the appropriate test statistic. I hope with these examples, you now are wise enough to discern the appropriate test statistic to use in every problem. Until next time,